Hey, Pisces. Hey, Pisces. All right, let's get into it. Let's see how bad things are. Nope, maybe they're actually awesome. I've got Susan Shepherd's cards out here for the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. So part A reading for the lunar, part B reading for the solar. We'll see how the stories mingle. I've got the air energy card out for the Gemini and Mercury energy of this lunar eclipse. And I've got my black and gold tarot cards out for the Lovers and the Magician, so that we have that energy on the table. Keep you mindful. I wanted to say, Pisces, my Mercury is in Pisces, and so is my moon. Well, my moon's half in Pisces. I have a void, what's called void of course. My moon is right in between signs. It's almost slightly into Pisces, but not enough to be really settled in that. So I'm half Aquarius, half Pisces moon. And this completely affects how I speak, communicate, write, think, gather information, learn. Depends, helps decide what I want to learn. So I wanted to ask you, or I am asking you, if you know where your Mercury is, and if you know where your third house falls in your chart, and do you have the sidereal or the tropical chart, or can I combine them both for you so that you have the most accurate chart, combining the seasons signs with the constellations where they actually are. So where does Gemini fall in your chart as a constellation and as a sign? And your third house of what you know, relationships, well, not relationships as in partnerships, which would be seventh house, but passionate relationships, community relationships, networking, ethics. Where does that third house fall for you? What's in it? What planets are in it even? How aware are you of these aspects of yourself? And that would be something I'd work on during the lunar eclipse to take advantage of, well, to optimize yourself. And then similarly, when we get to the solar eclipse in Sagittarius, which will also be during the new moon in Sagittarius, which will be in the 9th house. Sagittarius is the 9th house of faith and philosophy. Similar again, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So, for now, let's see, Pisces, where you are at for the 30th of November, thereabouts. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, you're doing you. High Priestess energy. I mean, that's the moon right there. Which I know we like to say Cancer, but hey, Cancer. But I mean, Cancer and Scorpio and Pisces, there's such a progression amongst the three of you. Sideways energy. The cross energy. 8 of coins. 8 of pentacles. Hardworking, hardworking, hardworking. Or not. Stuck. Stuck in the details. Do we have someone stuck in the details? Well, the High Priestess is setting up some kind of Mother Earth. We could say through this lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. But since we're reading for the lunar eclipse right now, stuck. 8. The infinite strength. Due diligence. Interesting. Temperance in reverse. A little impatient. Run out of time. Run out of it's a 14. It's a 5. It's a change. Change. And I would say Temperance can easily be High Priestess energy. High Priestess energy as a Time Lord. Yeah? Why? I have a Knave of Swords in reverse. Somebody who likes to be underestimated and is the information gatherer, the messenger, but really doesn't know. Not sure. Somebody who's not sure. Okay, more High Priestess energy. Very interesting. Well, okay, what do we expect during a lunar eclipse? Except for moon energy to be interfered with. Because the Empress, of course, is High Priestess as manifestor. And the unfortunate Book of Revelations, there is a woman who gives birth to a son, and the dragon is sitting waiting to devour the son as soon as he's born. We could take that woman to be the Holy Mary, Mother Mary. Of course, there were lots of apocalyptic writings back in the day. It really flies in the face of what Jesus was saying and the point of Jesus. So it's, I don't, as someone who grew up in that religious tradition, I do not accept it as really well, the whole Bible. The whole Bible. Let's maybe I should do a series on that. With what authority? Lots of years of research. But back on point here, Pisces. 3 aspects of the High Priestess energy. She's the manifestor. She's the one that gets down and dirty and actually dares to be pregnant and things like that, right? And we know what we contend with. Yep, just making sure I'm still recording. Lots of camera problems today and yesterday. What's really interesting is this unusual Knave of Swords over here. I get this 8 of Pentacles frustration for sure. But what's with the Knave of Swords? He's got the eye on his neck, but yeah. I'm gonna say it's you. 9 of Pentacles and King of Wands. That's a guy with a magician's wand with a plan. The 9 leading back to the 8. The 8 sideways. Vacillating between the 7 and the 9. Does somebody have you stuck, Pisces? I mean, we've got solar energy here for sure. But there's your own solar energy as the Empress, Venus. Well, Temperance is fire energy as well. Okay, I had to think for a minute. Sideways, sideways. Totally upside down, right? But let's say this manifestor. This is manifesting in the 3D, in the material world. Stuck. Stuck, 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 stuck. And this, when it's upright, she likes working alone. She's fine working alone. But this person is not, this person I feel is kind of throwing a monkey wrench in somewhere. And she's not working alone. Yeah? And therefore, the question is, Temperance being in reverse is fascinating to me. Hey Sagittarius, coming up in that solar eclipse, that wheel What's Jupiter doing to you? But this is... Okay. So then I did this, and I have the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom. What do we have at the bottom? Oh, there's the Queen of Cups. Okay. So, split energy between getting stuff done and being in love. So let's take that as this lunar eclipse story. Okay. And let's... I'm going to take those cards. Interesting. Got the Chariot in reverse and Death in the upright. Fixed timings. But we're just gonna... Scorpio. Makes sense. I want to take these with, I suppose I do, because I'll be confused if they show up later. Okay, I'm going to take those, and that becomes the Gemini lunar eclipse part of the reading. Let's see what comes through for the solar eclipse part of the reading. I'm going to pause for a minute. With Jupiter and that wheel and Temperance in the upright. Okay, hang on. That is so fascinating, Pisces, to have those three aspects all turned around. All turned around. Just right there. Okay. Now, your 9th house, Pisces. Where does it fall in your chart? What planets are in it? Where's Jupiter in your chart? Growing and expanding you. See, the 3rd and the 9th are right across from each other, of course. There's no accident that it's not magic that Gemini is the lunar eclipse and Sagittarius is the solar eclipse. They're right across from each other. But where is... Yeah, where's your Jupiter? Where's your Jupiter? Like I said, I think I said mine's in Gemini. Did I mention that? And my Mercury's in Pisces. Okay. Solar eclipse. Where? These aspects of the High Priestess. The moon, the lunar knowledge, countenance, the solar knowledge. Yay, out in the cold. Having the right plan. Having the right plan. Certainly that Knave of Swords in reverse does not have a plan. 10 of Wands in reverse. A 5 and a 10. Okay, I have a Queen of Wands in reverse. Which is not good. Well, it makes sense for Wands to be suffering. Okay, no, that just said it all. Where do I put that? Now we've got Gemini, Mercury energy, and that's great. We had, you're all flipped around, Pisces. We have Temperance in reverse during... I'm sorry, this has to be sucking. Oh, we've got Temperance in reverse during the lunar eclipse, and now we've got Lovers upright during the solar eclipse. All your Sagittarius energy is over in the Gemini event, and your Gemini energy is in the Sagittarius event. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I don't know. Do I? No, I don't want to do that. All these cards slapping. Just okay. Cross energy. 7 of Wands. Okay. That's a promise and a transformation of the will, of the desire. Yes. What was the endowment? What was the gift of the universe to you in the Wands department, in the Rods department? What did the universe give you to let you know that your will was on the right track, that your desires, the initiative you were taking was on the right track? They gave you something. They gave you something to work with so that you could make the commitment of the 7 of Wands. Do you know what it is? Because that's fire energy, that's faith, that's Sagittarius. Well, it's technically Leo energy. We have Sagittarius energy completely reversed here. But it would be along the lines of faith. Do we have a crisis in faith, Pisces? Quite possibly. And when this card is taking place outside of a church, outside a temple, actually a temple, it's got a tree of life on it, isn't it? A Jewish tree of life, not an Egyptian tree of life, which is the original. But they're outside, and there's, interestingly enough, there's a nun. Let's just throw everything together. Well, it all comes from the same, well, convoluted history. No, there's a lot that needs to be fixed about that. If I take this card less as the relationship card, the passionate, I mean, that could be involved completely. But if we go back to this Adam and Eve card, let me make sure I'm still recording. God, this camera's giving me a complex. Okay, as a crisis of faith. Do you have enough of the truth in this season of in this solar eclipse, in the truth? If you look up Mami Wata, I'll put links. The Black African Prophetesses, I could just say African Prophetesses, that basically were the oracles for all of the Mediterranean, and how the serpent was sacred. It's their prophecies primarily that are taken out of context into the Bible. I have an excellent book called The Bible is from Arabia, where if we go back and we correctly interpret the written Hebrew, which was never spoken, we match it up to place names, tribe names in the Asir region of Arabia, Saudi Arabia now, they still match. Everything is located, the tribes still live there. It's just a smaller story. Things were mistranslated. Egypt wasn't Egypt. It's not like that. I also have the Bible Unearthed. And D.H. Lawrence is one of my longest running guardian guides, and he wrote Apocalypse, which was published just after his premature death. And it is it's an analysis of how many different sources there were that were stitched together rather badly for the Book of Revelations. So if we take into account many African sources of his African history, Egyptian history as well, but if we go into the Orishas, if you look up, if I link to Black Doves and the Sibyls, I've worked with the Orishas. Of course, Kali is everywhere. Kali is everywhere as Mother Earth. So the truth is that Adam and Eve as a story is created to discredit and to end, to take the legacy of going to the feminine wisdom for divine guidance. That's all. Just don't trust the female oracles. Don't listen to them. They talk to the devil. That's the story of Adam and Eve. It needs to be debunked. Enough of us know that there was always something problematic, to say the least. But this, if we take that as the Lover's card, less than a relationship you're in, although it would affect, this kind of knowledge affects whatever relationships you're in anyway. And we have the problem of the transformation of faith, in faith, the transformation of self, which we have this Ten of Wands, you know, in reverse. And we have this all this feminine and energy, this High Priestess just not able to manifest. We've got Temperance, Sagittarius herself in reverse, not knowing yourself, Empress sideways. All of this High Priestess energy. If we take it back to this sideways Seven of Wands, which would be the promise to self, which is in conflict, this transformation, this promise, it's just, if the information isn't accurate, it's susceptible. This relationship as well. I've got the King in upright during the lunar eclipse, and I've got the Queen reversed. Somebody's will is bending or breaking somebody else's will. Yeah? Magician. I mean, you need to be the strong. And this is you, Pisces. You're the Queen of Cups. Got, what queen don't I have on here? Queen of Swords. Silent. Yeah, I think Sagittarius and the wheel, Jupiter expanding to knowledge. Gemini, let's hear it for Gemini and Sagittarius. Bringing in, for those of us that have ears to hear and eyes to see, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, Scorpio energy. Everything's come to a dead halt. It's that time of your life in your chart where you're meant to know these things, right? You were doing so much work. You have so much work to do, Pisces, in the last read. So much work to do. So this, yes, everything in the lunar eclipse leads up to this solar eclipse, so this grand finale, which you want this to be complete. You get that right. Then what? than the next set of troubles, because this is never ending. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Yeah, the battery died. Not that it didn't do me good service, but yes. Just as I was saying, sunburning this out, because we're water creatures. Well, Scorpio is a shadow creature, shade creature. But we have safe passage in the moonlight. It comes out. We have guardians. We have everything, you know, keeping an eye out. So, 10 of Swords, back from the dead. Turn over a new leaf, new page. Again, and if you analyze your Mercury placement, your third house placement, your Gemini placements, then you have full optimization of how to communicate and how to capitalize on what you know and what you want to know and how you want to know it. And God, the whole 10 of Cups, I mean, that's full communion. Not only is it potentially full happiness with partner or whatever, but you have everybody on the other side guiding and communicating with you psychically, leading you. It's all there. And you might not be happy about that. It might be very tiresome, but that's the end for now. It just really doesn't get much clearer than that. You might need to rewatch the video to remember everything I said. Or just to stare at all of those High Priestess energies all in a circle. But yeah. Yeah. This 7 of Wands. This transformation of faith. To know that you know this divine, this feminine, this High Priestess knowledge, the secret knowledge, the sacred knowledge. Yeah. Thank you, Sun. Thank you, Moon. As we head into the dubious time of Saturnalia. Okay, Pisces. Back in. Why am I doing that like I'm Nixon? Back in 2 weeks.